Race number 1 at Flemington is the Tabaron over the 1100 metres for the 4-year-old and up mares, and I've got She's an Artist on top. This horse went to open company last start and carried a big weight. Narrowly got beaten by Vadu, who was in a head-bobbing finish the other day. Drops in weight. Jamie Mellum sticks. Inside draw. Blinkers on near side for the first time. She looks the class runner in the race. There's either two ways you can look at this race. Take her on at her own peril or be with her. Now, I will say she started favourite in most of her runs since her great run in the stakes race down the straight, but I think she's come back a different horse this preparation. Won first up at the short quote, narrowly got beaten last start, and I think now here, third up, dropping in weight, Jamie Mellum aboard from the inside barrier with the blinkers going on for the near side. She's going to be hard to beat. Eagle Express, if a second, comes back in grade from racing in Sydney last start, gets John McNeil in there sort of with no weight and is hard fit. Papa Ward can run really well here, gets in with a light weight of 57 kilos, being the highest rated horse in this field, and Luke Cartwright takes the claim for his mother and grandmother in Leonie Tolson and Leonie Proctor. I hope I've said that right. Sorry, Lynn Tolson and Leonie Proctor. There you go, I've said it right there. General Steele in for fourth. He's been absolutely flying recently. 3 on the bounce, looking for 4 here, though he had everything. She had everything to its favour last start and got the dream run. Though 5 from 8, you're a pretty good horse and gets a pretty good weight here with the 55 kilos. But I think She's an Artist, clear the one to beat in race number 1. Race number 2 at Flemington is the York Plate over the 1400 metres for the 3-year-olds at set weights and penalties, and I am with Wise In-Law. I think that this horse is hard to beat in a race where there's not a lot in it. Horses that have had about probably 10 starts for only a handful of wins, or horses that are way up in grade. I just think that Wise In-Law, with Luke Nolan going on in their saddle, can go forward. There's a little bit of a query if he'll handle the wet track or not, considering this horse has only seen a soft 5, but I just think with early on in the day, Luke Nolan, lightweight, can skip away and hopefully hold on and do what and be going on with it, and only goes up 1.5 kilos from its last start effort and draws better than it did last start and the start before drawing barrier 7 last start and ran 4th in the sedative first up, and that's good enough form for this. Burma Star's the one that has the class of the field, winning the Amanda Elliott in the spring, came back in overdrive last start, though the question is 60 kilos, that the track's wet enough for him now for him to show his class, but he has to give the whole field weight, though there's a reason for that. Cafe Olard in for second. I think that this horse can improve here, coming off a very good win last start, and is 4th up with a good draw. John McNeil with the 54 kilos for Chris Waller can run well, and Exit gets the blinkers on for the first time, 4th up. Drawn wide, though, drops in weight. Jamie Mellum, 54 kilos, can run well. I just think that Wise In-Law can be in the right part of the track and go forward and be hard to beat. Race number 3 at Flemington is the first of the stakes races, the Group 3 Thoroughbred Breeders' Stakes over the 1200 metres for the 2-year-old fillies, and I am with Gin Twist on top for Willie Pike and the Hayes boys. I think if this horse has the runs on the board to prove hard to beat here, has the value of hard race fitness, inside draw, and goes forward, and with all those things in favour, I think it'll spell a win. Jadzir in for second, draws well, and was really good behind Medicinal last start. Geordie Childs, Graham Begg, they stick together. Satano Glow comes down from Sydney. Jamie Mellum in the saddle for Tom Charlton, and John O'Shea can run well here. And Furman High has been really good at the jump outs, and has Luke Nolan on for Peter Moody and Kath Coleman at $13. But I think Gin Twist, a lot's in its favour here to go back to back. Race number 4 at Flemington is the Glorious Goodwood Handicap at benchmark 78 level over the 1100 metres, and I'm with Shining Smile on top. Gets in with the 56 kilos with the claim for Jackson Radney. And I think that's very good for a horse of his calibre. This horse is a 3-time listed winner up the straight and ran and there was a head between him and 10 Tyrus. Obviously, 10 Tyrus has gone on to do a lot better things than this horse. But I just think with the weight drawn out where he is, he can go forward. and take this race by authority. It's an open race as anything. But I just think that he has a margin class-wise on this field, considering he's had a run. He's got exceptional form up the straight. He's a listed winner, or three-time listed winner, and he looks, in my opinion, the one to beat. And $9 is a good price to find out. Stolly Bolly in for second. I'm not sure he should be favourite, but he was in some very good races last preparation, and the key to it is he was consistent and he will handle the wet track. Damian Lane in the settle from the wide draw, can see him swooping late. My Temptation was a big win first up. Query if it'll handle the wet track. It doesn't get the claim with the 62.5, and Stolly Bolly's had My Temptation's measure before. That was a mouthful. And Nimbus 2000 in 4/4. But shining smile for mine, the value in race number 4. Race number 5 at Flemington is a benchmark 84 over the 2,000 metres, and I'm taking on the favourite in Zakuma here, and that form reference for that matter, the Zakuma race that Pentia Warrior comes out of. I think that there are two better chances in the race, and I'm quite confident here in Jareth. I think that he can run an absolute bottler here with no weight on his back. Kieran Maher trains. Dakota Keene takes the weight down to the 51 kilos. He's drawn reasonably well in barrier number 7, and he's the one that can be charging weight at them with no weight, and that will run the 2,000 metres on its ear. Comes out of winning last start from a wide draw, carrying 58.5 kilos, so drops 7.5 kilos from his last start effort. It was a brilliant win last start. He started favourite one day at Flemington over the 2,000 metres at $1.80, and the rail was out that day, beaten by Federer, who's an benchmark 84 to 90 horse at best, and then he was beaten by Unlimited at Caulfield prior to that he was beaten at Caulfield over the 1,800 metres, running second to Unlimited and beating Gilded Water, who went on to better things from there. I think that he'll run the 2,000 on his ear. I think he'll be charging home late, and with that weight, I can't avoid him here. Vegeta San is third up, and has been running home hard at odds. Well, that's what it did first up, and then ran really well last start. And I thought that in a race that wasn't run to suit, the wet track's the query with him though. And if he'll run, if it's too wet, Pentia Warrior, gets a weight swing on Zakuma, and I just think that there's too much between them. There was only a length between them last up. One's $8, one's $2.30, and I'm very happy to be against Zakuma here. Only third up. Yes, coming off two good wins, though they were in much weaker grade. Jareth for mine, race number 5. And on a race that it's very hard to pick a best bet, Flemington Race 6, the listed VRC Sprint Classic over the 1,100 metres, I am supremely confident on My Gladiola. She doesn't have the best winning strike rate, but this is her race to lose. Jamie Mott in the saddle, coming off a new market handicap. Prior to that was not far off 10 Tyrus in the Group 1 Lightning Stakes, has another placing to 10 Tyrus in the Group 1 Coolmore, has beaten Legacy Bound twice when they've met, and has beaten Tycoon Star before. I think that this horse has a margin class-wise and fitness-wise on this field. Hard fit, drawn barrier number 9, to have that swooping run down the middle. Oh, I just can't believe you're getting $2.50. She's a $1.60 chance, in my opinion. And you got to add to that nothing made ground in the Newmarket. So even though you say, well, she had a lightweight, nothing made ground in the Newmarket. So I just think with all that being considered, if you scratch the Newmarket run prior to that, she's running very, very well. And I think she's the one to beat here. Legacy Bound in for second, bolted in first up. I was with him that day. And I think he'll run a good race. There has been the horse that's been backed. Gallo Nero beat Apocalyptic one day in Sydney and hasn't had a lot of racing after that. And will need the run here, though. If this track gets to a bog, he will handle it. And Tycoon Star, probably better over 1,400 metres, that gets Damian Lane. My Gladiola, my best bet of the day. Race number 7 at Flemington is the listed Lexus Roy Higgins over the 2,600 metres. A golden Melbourne ticket up for grabs here, and I think it's Litz Deal's race to lose. She ran really well last start, this mare, running second and kept coming to the line from back in the field. Ran a good, okay race first up in the race it came out of at Caulfield being the Foundation Cup, won by Light Infantry Man, who he knows a benchmark to a good horse on his day. Gets in with a 54.5 here. Craig Williams, third up to the 2600 metres. We know that this horse will handle the 2600 metres courtesy in its win on Cup Day in the Melbourne Cup Consolation Race, the Macca's Run. I think it's all about Let's Deal and Alexis Roy Higgins. Paradise Storm in for second, comes off a New Zealand Cup win. And I think he can be hard. He'll run well being hard fit, but he has to carry the weight and come back to the 2600 metres from the 32 of the Auckland Cup. One smooth operator, second up to the 2600 metres. No form on wet ground though. Gets Ben Mellon from a wide draw. It doesn't look a lot in his favour though. We know he's a good horse. Desert Hero in for fourth, kept coming in the same race as Let's Deal. I just think with the fitness improving that Let's Deal will take that she'll handle the track improving over the trip. She has to be ahead of him in this field. Let's Deal for one in the Lexus Roy Higgins. I think we'll see her in the Melbourne Cup come the first Tuesday in November. Race number 8 at Flemington is the Group 1 Tab Australian Cup. It's the feature of the day, and it's honestly an absolute lottery before even we get involved with track condition. This race is a lottery. I think that this is going to be based on what track we get on the day and what horses we have here. Because I think if the track's any worse than what it is now, being a soft 6, they'll scratch Pride of Jenny, and that'll leave me with Tom Kitten. But I'll go through my tips. Anyway, Pride of Jenny on top. I want to be on a horse coming out of the All-Star Mile, which I think is the best form reference leading into this. I know she's only second up, but we know how much that Pride of Jenny can improve going up in trip, going out to the front of the field. That's where she's going to be. She's not going to change her racing pattern. Front of the field, improvement. And I just think that this is going to, hopefully, third time lucky in an Australian Cup for this mare. Tom Kitten in for second. This horse, yes, draws wide, though he proved in the spring that if it comes down to a heavy track that he can handle it, being via his third in the Champion Stakes, and he's absolutely flying this preparation. 2 from 2, he can go on with it here. Like a Lucy, first time extended out to the 2,000 metres since coming over to the East Coast. Damien Lane on Chris Waller has the right attributes here, has been the horse that's been backed, and the last time this horse was at 2,000 metres, it ran fourth to Treasure the Moment in Sydney. So it looks good form for this. And Birdman in for fourth. Just because I've got him for fourth, it's not a reflection of his chances. He's fourth up, hard fit, coming off the right races to bounce into an Australian Cup, and Ben Mellon knows how to win one of these. He won it twice on Cascading. Open as anything, and I'm not sure I'm going to even have my top selection in Pride of Jenny there, but if she's there, she can win. Race number 9 at Flemington is the listed 88 Bob Hoisted handicap. They'll fly over the 1,000 metres, and I've got Pisanello to soak up the speed and charge late. Damien Lane in the settle on probably his minimum riding weight of 54.5 kilos. Barrier number 9, absolutely perfect for this horse to go back, get cover, last crack, first run for the Hayes boys. And I think that this horse will run an absolute beauty here. Weight of the Stars in for second, fourth up, hard fit, gets a good draw and goes forward. Don't know where he's going to finish though, because there's a lot of speed here, though he's coming out of the Oakley Plate, and this is backing grade from that. Prior to that, he won the Adams, so he has to be a chance here. Celerity coming out of the Manor High Classic. I wanted to take her on here, and from the inside draw, I'm happy to. I can see her getting bailed away on the fence, and to be honest, she would need a lift to win this, and unflinching in 4-4. This horse will be charging along in your front, being part of the speed. I think he'll weaken out quite significantly, and he's quite significantly up in grade, but he could snag a place at $71. Piece another for mine. I've seen worse chances and a lot less going for them at $7. Race number 10 to finish the day at Flemington is the Royal Ascot Handicap over the 1600 metres. And don't everybody go running for the hills because of the $17 for Golden Path. But hopefully leave something for the punter to back. I think that this horse can win. I'm not calling it a moral. I'm not calling it a good thing by any means or margin. This race is open as anything. Anything can win this race. But I think if this horse had drawn well, it would be significantly shorter. And from 15, I'm hoping Radley can take it forward. You don't see him riding for the Michael Price Mick Kent Jr. stable very often. And this horse, we know what he did last preparation. He ran very well over the 1600 metres first up behind 2 degrees El Rocco. Then he won over the 1700 metres at Flemington, beating Kingswood and Globe. Now both Group 1 winners. And ran third to Sir Delia's and Buckaroo. That's great form for a race like this. Cafe Millennium into this field here, draws well, fourth up, has to carry the weight from weight being as good as a horse as he is, and has to take a weight penalty, obviously. But they will run well. There was only a length between Cafe Millennium and Just a Deal when they met in the I can't think of the race off the top of my head, but when they met prior, Cafe Millennium gets a 1.5 kg weight swing on that one run and draws well and gets Willie Pike. I can see why it's the favourite, and El Duca in 4-4. But Golden Path for mine in the last, $17. It looks a good price. And as we take a look at the Last Man Standing leaderboard, the last week of Last Man Standing is next Saturday. So I think we know who the winner's going to be here. The Saturday has probably got this all parcelled up, but he's $854 in front, courtesy of his win last Saturday with Jigsaw. And I've got 855 behind, so hopefully I need a miracle to even get near him. And as we have a look at what the Seminary is doing for Last Man Standing, he's going to have $100 all up. Zacoma, the place. Celerity, the place. Just the Deal, the place at Flemington. And at Morphettville, he's going for Never Ordinary, the win. Rosehill, Aliana, the win. And Diamond Darcy, the place. Looks a good chance. And as we have a look at what I'm going to do, hopefully trying to catch this outstanding lead set by the Seminary, I'm going to have $100 all up. My Gladiola the win, Lit Steel the win, Tom Kitten the place in the Australian Cup, Barnavara the win in the Neville Selwood, and Aliana the win at Rosehill. Thank you for everybody for watching my preview for the Australian Cup card, Group 1 Australian Cup Day. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you next Saturday for the Easter Cup. That preview might be out a little bit late, though.